How's that? Is that better? Ah. You know what happened is somehow the stupid thing got switched over to the camera mic instead of my Yeti mic. Ah. Man, and I was being hilarious. You guys missed out on all kinds of good stuff. Oh. I was talking crap about Marvel and everything. Okay, back to pressing matters. Okay, I gotta get to. Wait a minute, where am I? Okay. It's okay. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. All right, let's see. Okay. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Not kill the speaker. Hey, Ken, how are you? Okay, I think we're actually live. Okay. I just running my mouth. Family went to go see the Avengers movie. I could care less about the Avengers movie. I know that makes me a commie pinko so-and-so. Sorry. You know, I really... When was the last time Hollywood actually put out anything worth going and paying money for? I don't know. I can't think of anything recently. I do want to go see that that B-17 movie it's a one night thing there in the middle of next month. I think it's right after Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up. I think I should get my wife a new airbrush. Right? Okay. So, I'm just trying to waste time because I don't want to get too far ahead of things, but it's 20 minutes. So, I'm not going to just jaw jack for 20 minutes. I'm What am I? Hang on a second there. I got some cool stuff. Hang on. Yeah. I don't know if I shared these, so if I did, sorry, but I'm going to share them again. Airbrush, good choice. So I got some pretty. I think I did share these, but I'm going to do it again anyway. So this is pretty cool. This P40 pilot's manual. Pilot's manual for the Curtis P40 Warhawk. Pretty much 30% of my stash is P40s and P47s, and they're about split down the middle. I think between P40s and P47s, I have about 30 or 40 different kits. So yeah, I have a little issue there. Right? But this is pretty cool. I mean, it's got some good it's got some line drawings, and it's got some, you know, specs, and it's got engine specs and RPM data and horsepower data, and talks about the oxygen equipment and all that stuff. And I'm sure these are like a copy or something that's put into a stapled book here, but and you can tell that the things like there's a shadow, so that not all the pages were lined up the first time they went through the press. And the pictures are kind of worn, you know, they're not, the definition's not great, but you can see where everything is and everything's labeled. So if you had like a 1/24 scale P40 Airfix, I'm talking to you, Airfix. You could go crazy on it. So anyway, I'm going to set this over here. And this is super cool. The old monogram, Japanese cockpits book. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. There are a few things in the world more elusive than Japanese colors and configurations of not only aircraft but pretty much anything. So, you know, and these were taken with a flash, obviously, and whatnot. So you kind of have to take the colors with a grain of salt, but yeah, so it's you know what I find interesting about this is growing up, you know, well, at least in my experience, you know, with the idea always being that the Zero was so light, and you know, the Zero is always almost sold as something that was inferior. So you kind of got this idea that everything Japan produced was inferior. And I'm talking as a kid. I'm not talking later in life doing adult type research. And looking through this and looking at these cockpit photos and stuff, there's nothing inferior about this stuff. Maybe the planes weren't as robust as ours were, but they definitely weren't inferior technology-wise. And a couple of armor books. This Panzer II, and then the Tiger. And these are actually, there's color plates in these, but these are all action photos, you know, like archive photos, which is really what I look for. And you know, something about photos, using photos for research and stuff, is how can you not like the P40? Exactly. What was I saying? Oh, just the squadron signal books is really kind of where this grew out of. I remember having a conversation with somebody, and we were talking about the squadron signal books, and I've got all the squadron signal books, and I have a lot. Okay, don't get me wrong, I have a lot, but you know, you don't need all the squadron signal books if you're using them for, you know, weathering techniques and stuff like that, because you can transfer wear and tear from aircraft that served in the same area under the same conditions for, you know, not necessarily the same amount of time or whatever, but they're going to show similar weathering effects. Sure, there might be things that are specific to that vehicle or aircraft type or whatever, but you know, for the most part, you're going to see the same type of environment induced weathering. Wow, that sounded really technical, didn't it? So anyway, you get the point. So you don't have to run out and grab A6 in action, A4 in action, F4 in action, F8 in action. Because they all served at the same time. They're all going to look somewhat the same. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Now back to the P40. There are some things in the world that just look like what they are. The one that I always use as a really good example is in my head, the Mercury Redstone rocket looks like a rocket. When somebody says rocket and you think generic rocket, that's where my head goes, is to that Mercury Redstone thing. So, to me, when you think airplane, P40 is one of the first things that pops into my head. I mean, it looks like an airplane. It looks like a single engine fighter. It's kind of the K car of World War II single engine fighters. How's that? The K car. Wow. I was talking to one of my kids the other day. I was like, yeah, the K car. It looked like the car that you drew in first, second, third grade. Right? So, anyway, yeah. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to jump over to my thing here. Where is it? There it is. And let's start doing something. I don't know what. We're 10 minutes early. Who cares, right? Where do I need to go? There's the desktop. There we go. We'll do this. Okay. So what I'm going to deal with right now is something you deal with a lot, especially on armor kits, is these fragile pieces, with the dealing with the sprue gates on fragile pieces. That's what I'm trying to say. And here, I don't know if you can see that. If it'll focus. Is it going to focus? Anyway, there's a sprue gate sticking up on that thing. And, yeah, let's try this. Well, anyway. So the point being, so what I'll do is I'll cut the thing off the sprue, leave the sprue gate on it, glue it to the model, and deal with it from that point on. And that seems to work pretty well for me. I bet there's more P40s around than K cars. You're probably right. Oh, that's funny. Wow, those things were terrible, weren't they? That 2.2 Dodge motor. Ugh, what a piece of junk. Anyway, so I need my eyeballs for sure. And my laser vision. So what I'll do is I'll come in here with the nippers. These things still got steel wool. I'm still trying to clean up steel wool from like 2 weeks ago. I guess I need a magnet. So what I'm going to do is just nip that off as close as I can without cutting into the ring. I don't want to you never want to cut into the actual part itself because you don't want to, then you have to fill it. And you don't want to do that. So I just cut these down low. This is a round surface, so you might be able to come back and hit it a couple of times. And but maybe not. Then I just come back at it with the sanding stick. And you don't really have to be careful because, I mean, this thing's glued on here. It ain't going anywhere. So you don't need to worry about it flying off. Breaking it off or whatever. I guess it could happen, but I don't know. Never had it happen. Not that I can recall anyway. So, and I mean, that's it. It's gone. Now that is a heck of a lot faster. I know it's kind of worrisome. You've got it already mounted, and what if I screw it up? And it's plastic. You can fix it. Right? It's plastic. You can fix it. Or like my shirt says, you like my shirt? My new modeling shirt? Get over it. Kind of the same idea. Get over it. It's plastic. You can fix it. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get those made up. I'm gonna do that. Should I do that? Design a t-shirt that says that? It's only plastic. You can fix it. Okay. Now, if you tried to do this on the sprue, or try to do this in your fingers, or holding it with tweezers, holding it with tweezers, you'd probably have lost it already. But I just cleaned all three of those up in that bit of time right there. And I typically always do this with something that's got a cast texture, is exposed or something that I want to smooth out. And I'll just hit it with some cement to kind of blend it all, and we're done. Just like that. So, there's a lot of little bits and pieces on this thing that I don't know, that are kind of a pain. Oh, you know what I was going to do? Hang on a second. I wanted to, hang on, I'll be right back. I gotta go grab something I forgot to bring down here out of my display case upstairs because I wanted to show you something. Okay, this. Oh, are you serious? Okay, before I tell you what I was going to tell you, let me tell you a story. So when I went to put this into my display case upstairs after I finished it, I hit it on something and I busted the 50 cal off. And you can probably see there, right there, where this thing is knocked off. And I was never able to find the 50 cal. Well, What is that right there? Oh my gosh, I don't know how long this thing's been sitting in like a display cabinet. I figured it went into the carpet and it just disappeared. Oh, that thing's been sitting there for I don't know how long. Oh, now all I gotta do is find another yoke and I'm good. Man, I feel stupid. That's okay. Anyway, so this is the DML M4A2 Russian Lend-Lease. It's okay, Jeff. It's not War Thunder. No worries. It's all good. What will you be able to know? That's good camo. Yeah, you get the camo on the 50 on the modules. I guess. Wow, how stupid is that? Anyway, so here's my problem with this Tamiya kit, like I was talking about before, and is if you look at this Dragon kit, and this is an old kit, but it's basically the same hull and turret. As far as I know, I think it's basically the same tank other than the suspension. But yeah, I'm laughing at your smiley face or unsmiley face. But this thing actually has grab handles and stuff on the hatches, right? Whereas this Tamiya kit has molded on lumps. and I'm just like, really, Tamiya? Come on, DML outdid you a decade ago or 2 decades ago. So anyway, and this is fine, but honestly, the rear decks are different because of the motors are different, but man, it would almost be worth kit bashing these two. And I don't know, or I could have cut these off and made handles out of wire, but then you have to mess with the surface texture. I could have done it. I got lazy, okay? Now I got to find another yoke. If I can find another yoke, I'm good to go. That thing has been sitting back there for a long time. Holy cow. Anyway, my wife's going to laugh about that. I'm not, though. I don't think that's funny. And I ripped the carpet out of that room. The carpet's long gone, so that yoke is long gone if it was still around. Let me put this up here somewhere out of the way. Okay. Oh, wow. Interesting. So, yeah, I don't really understand why they went to all the trouble to do the the casting numbers and a lot of this stuff, and then they can't just do grab handles. I don't get it. But whatever, Tamiya, whatever. Tamiya is becoming the Revell of the 21st century. So we did our little demo there. I never follow the assembly sequence because I get bored, because I have ADD. So I always keep a pencil around. so that I can mark stuff off as I go through the sheet. So, whatever. So, and then I mark it. Once a step is completed, I just mark the step off. So, like all these are on. Da, da, da. I got all that back there. Oh, I don't have the lenses are not in. Okay. And I gotta do these. I'm not gonna subject you to watching me do all of these braces here. So this is on. That's it. I can do all these other little things. But let's not. Let's work on the Coral Sea. Shall we? Okay. Make sure I get all this stuff into the box. That's all you had is a lot of braces, isn't it? And to me, it's interesting because it's because of the HVVS. The track was so much wider, but it's like it's a tank. Let it throw the mud on itself. Who cares? What am I looking for? I'm looking for this. This. Yeah, those braces. That's going to be a meditation moment. I'm going to have to really be in the mood to deal with those, or I'm just going to have to do a few at a time, or something. Okay. Back to it. I really need to spend some quality time with this because I'm running out of time. My nephew, who's in the Air Force, him and his wife are having a post-elopement get together at my niece's house, his sister's house, and her fiance's house in June. And so bottom line is we're going to Denver in June, so I gotta have this done, and I gotta have the other thing done, the thing that we can't talk about done. So yeah. So this is pretty good here. I still got some things I really have to deal with, but I'm not sure. This is just one of those things that's fill and sand until you get it where you want it, and then you'll be done. So I'm not done with it yet, but so while I'm doing this, we can talk about the Night Fighter build. I guess what I'm going to do is I'll put up a group. I'll make a group. So I'll make a ShutterAce Night Fighter build group, and then we'll just post everything in there. And then when it's done and over, I'll take the finished stuff and post it onto the ShutterAce page. And then we'll get rid of the group page that we posted all the other stuff on. Well, I guess we don't have to get rid of it. I'm just trying to keep things somewhat organized. I can't, I'm the only one that can post on the ShutterAce page for obvious reasons, but and I guess I could just make a ShutterAce group. I don't know. I'll figure it out by Tuesday. And like I said, it's not. You know, I want to be very, very, very clear. I'm not. I'm going to be very lax, because it's really about building and sharing and having a good time. And just doing a kind of a community thing with no pressure and whatnot. So that's the idea. And hopefully we get some participation. I think 2 months is plenty of time. But you know, if somebody out there has a different idea or has something that, you know, I'm sure I didn't think of everything. I try to be thorough, but you know, I'm flesh and blood like everybody else. So if somebody thinks of something that I didn't think of, please do not hesitate to let me know. And then we'll go from there. This camera angle's a lot better, huh? Dragon 72nd P61. Wow, Ken. You know what? You know what the first thing I thought of when I read that? Masking that canopy is going to suck. The bane of aircraft builders, right? No, not the canopy. Anything but that. I have a 72nd Dragon DO335B2, the one with the cannons that somebody gave me for a gift for helping them out with a website a long time ago. And yeah, that little canopies, those little frames on those little canopies are scary. Did you guys ever build any of the old Italeri, like the HE111 and the DO217 and all those old Italeri kits, the 72nd? Great kits. But man, those canopies, those cockpit glazings, forget it. That Italeri 72nd, the B25, and the C47 or DC3, I think it came in a DC3 civilian livery, I think. Great kits. Those were two of the nicest kits I ever built when I was younger. Really great kits. Wow, look at that. That's looking pretty good. Alright, I just saw something. What is it, right here? I'm not in the slightest bit worried about removing the detail on this. Which may be obvious. But just in case it wasn't obvious. And I know this is not going to be fully accurate. I never got to the painting stage with my Italeri H111. Yeah, that was from what I remember, some of the cockpit parts in that thing were microscopic. Heck of a kit, though. You know, and those things were, what, from the 70s? You know, and it's like, did anybody tell the designers at Italeri this is 72nd scale? Because some of the stuff they included on those things, it was just like, you know, and especially for the time, it was like, wow, look at some of these parts. Okay, the only thing I got to do now is I need to deal with this corner right here, and every time I try to deal with it, I make it worse. And I'm not sure what I need to do here. I was 20 something when I built mine. Yeah, I was, I don't know, junior high school, maybe high school. Very late 70s, early 80s. They were something else, though, for the time. You know, back when the exotic stuff was the eshy stuff. When Scalecraft was importing the eshy stuff. Bunch of parts from it in my spares box. Speaking of spares box, if anybody has the prop off of a Hasegawa 48 scale F4U4 and they don't need it, I could use it. I have one that I stripped the decals and stuff off of, and I was gonna redo the squadron colors and just change it out, and because the decals all flaked off, and somehow the prop ended up on the ground, and by the time I found it, it was missing 3 blades. They had fine detail. Yeah, they did. They did. They were really quite impressive. Okay. I'm really at a loss for what I'm going to do right there. Right now I'm thinking about mixing up some super glue gunk and sticking it in there. I don't know if you can see that, but that corner, I keep ending up with a valley in there because of trying to get in there to sand it. So what I'm thinking is I'm just going to make some of my mush. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, when I first really came back to this with a vengeance, I guess, or full time, you know, I never really completely left. I kind of was tinkering with different stuff over the years, but when the kids were little, I didn't want to have all these nice sharp knives and stuff laying around, so I kind of laid off. But I always had something that I was messing with, whether it was something scale or something RC or a train layout or whatever. But yeah. Where was I going with that? Anyway, so about 2010, I think it was, I decided, okay, let's get serious, and I got a Tamiya P47M, which wasn't a cheap kit. And I'll be honest with you, I looked at it, I stared at it for a long time because it wasn't cheap, and I was like, man, I really don't want to mess this up. It was expensive. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gary. I don't know what Gary's last name is. Anyway, he does Scale Spot. And so I found his website. I was looking for a review on the kit or some help with it or whatever. And I sent him an email. And I said, hey, man, you know, I'm getting ready to get back into this. I have this kit to start with. And, you know, you have any advice? I'm really afraid I'm going to goof it up. And he basically was like, just build it. Quit whining, just build it. It'll be fine. Just build it. And he was right. He was right. But going back to your rolling over the canopy, so I rolled over the windscreen on that. And I was trying to get it ready for a contest. And this was before I was a member of the club. And like I said, I was just getting back into it. This is like my first foray back into it. I figured, hey, I go to a club thing. It'll be a good way to get back in the swing of things and meet up with some people and whatnot. And so I rolled over the windscreen, and by that time, you know, Falcon had been long gone. And so I had to go buy a whole nother kit just to get the windscreen out of it because I didn't have time to get one from Tamiya. So I ended up getting I ordered a clear sprue from Tamiya, but it wasn't going to get here in time. So I went and bought another kit, which is okay because, as we all know, I can never have enough T47 kits. I think I have 12. I think I have 11. I think I have like 12 P40 kits. 12 or 13. I don't know. I mean, not built. The ones I'm talking not built, not the ones that are built. Yeah. I think I just got to fix that, and I think I'm good. And I think what I'm going to do... Yeah, I think that's going to get the super glue treatment. Ouch. Yeah. Yeah. You can imagine what that P47M kit cost off the shelf of the LHS. I think it was like 40 or 50 bucks. Like, oh. But, oh no, I just thought of something. Oh well. I didn't bid on that Lancaster that was for auction. Oh well. I don't need it. So my 25109 kits might be an issue. Do you really have 25109 kits? Wow. Hey, it's not an issue. It's not an issue with me if it's not an issue with you. There's only about 7 zillion 109 paint jobs out there. Wow, you really do. Wow. So how many... Okay. So you've been back at this for how long now, Jeff? And how many kids did you have when you got back to it? And how... You have 25 109s now, and you had, what, 2 or 3 a couple of months ago? Now, your wife knows I had nothing to do with this, right? I guess I'm never coming to your house. I'll get beat. Okay. I think hang on. What are we gonna do? You know what? I'm just gonna drop some more of this in there. I think I can fill that corner in with this and we'll be all right. Mr. Surfacer 500. I'm just using a toothpick. I don't really need to brush it in. I'm just trying to fill in this corner. Fill it out there. So my nephew's in Korea right now. And I keep thinking, is there any modeling stuff I want from Korea that I should have him get me? But I can't think of anything. Oh yeah, that, you know what? If that stays in there and I polish this out here, feather this out, and don't touch it up here, it'll be fine. But I'll screw it up. Because that's what I do. But no, I think it'll be fine. I think I can work that through right there. And it'll be fine. Okay. There we go. Got way too many kids, but the first step is admitting I've got a problem, right? Right. Well, you know how I keep the numbers down? Once I open it and start it, it comes off the inventory list. So the only thing that's on the inventory list is the stuff that's in the stash that I haven't actually started. Shh. So the 20 kits that I have started don't count. But you know, I have a bunch of stuff that are gifts that I don't feel right about disposing of for obvious reasons. And then I have, well, I shouldn't say I don't feel right about disposing of them. If somebody needs one or something, or if it's going to something that I'm sure that the person that gave it to me would not mind, I don't have an issue passing it on. But I won't sell it, obviously. Then I have a whole bunch of stuff that are my monogram stuff that I don't want to get rid of because I want to build all those. The B-17s, I got both B-17 kits, and I got both the B-24 kits, and I got the B-61 kit, and all the B-25 kits, and yeah, I want to build them all. Will I? I'm going to try. I'm going to give it the old college try. The trick to building them and finishing them is not getting all hung up on the details. Okay, so let me... this camera angle's working, right? Me too, I'm trying to build most of my monogram stuff as well. Yeah, that's the stuff that I love. My Tamiya P47 kits. I'm not really a big Hasegawa fanboy just because I don't think they're really any better than Revell. I honestly don't. You know, I look at the late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s Revell stuff is pretty much on par, in my opinion, with the Hasegawa stuff that was coming, the early Hasegawa stuff. You know, I don't think we really had anything. What, you know, in the 90s when Trumpeter hit the scene in the 90s with the big 32nd scale jets and stuff, and Dragon showed up with the World War One kits, and then they started doing some of the, you know, offbeat German stuff like the AR-234s, and when all that stuff started hitting the market in the 90s or whatever, you know, that was really the first big push of new stuff that the hobby had seen for a decade at least. This is going to take some time to dry, but yeah, you know, so it was crazy. And now we've got the same old Hasegawa stuff with different decals. That's it. That's the only difference. The decals are different. Same kit we've been selling forever. I don't get it. I don't understand why they're so expensive. This kit is horrible. This kit is really bad. It's more of a, this is more of a toy than a model. But it'll be all right. But I'm very seriously thinking about replacing all these antennas with brass rod. Ugh, stop yawning, Jim. It was prom weekend. It's been a busy weekend. And then next weekend is my youngest son's confirmation. So we've got company coming into town, so I'm trying to get, and then, you know, and it's, yeah, and 4 times the price. Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. So I've been trying to get the lawn mowed. It's typical Colorado spring, which means it rains in the spring, but it only rains the day that you want to mow the lawn. That's just the rule. So, I got part of the lawn mowed. But, yeah, so I got all kinds of stuff to do before next Saturday, or next Sunday. The air pump went out on the hot tub, so I got to put a new air pump in that, and I got to drain it and refill it. And I'm probably going to have to put a filter in it and all that stuff. I need to get a guy for all that stuff. I told my wife today, I'm like, you know what? I need to quit doing all this stuff myself and just start paying somebody to do it because I just don't have time. I'm just staring at this because I don't know what to do. I really don't know where to start with this thing. I can't really do anything with this haul until I get all of this stuff done. What I do need to do is I need to start thinking about making up some decals. Okay, moving on. What's next? Let's move on, since I can't really do anything there. Well, okay. Uh-oh, I hear the door. People are home. The Avenger home. The Avengites, is that what they're called? Is Avengites? Kind of like the Hittites and the Amorites. The Avengites. Okay. And moving on. I'm never at a loss for projects. I got lots of projects. I highly recommend having more than one thing going at a time. However, I don't recommend having as many going on at a time as I do. Avengerians. There you go. Like they've, yeah. Yeah, Avengerians. There you go. This is the Airfix 109 Trop, 109E Trop kit. And I'm doing the as much of a Mediterranean theater fan that I am. I'm actually doing the Spanish Civil War version. That was a pretty insane conflict. It was I read a book about it years ago, and what I remember most was that, you know, here was this country that was not necessarily third world, but militarily was not up to par, I guess you would say. And the communists and the fascists show up and basically use it as a proving ground for their new war machines. That kind of sucks for them, for those people, for the people, you know. But politicians, man, they'll be the death of us all if they have anything to say about it. This is so when I bought this, it wasn't too long after they first came out, and it was $20 at my LHS. And my LHS is usually a little high, but it's well stocked, and you know, we all should try and keep our friends in business if we can, right? So, and I think at $20, and I don't buy new kits that often, but at $20, it was worth $20. Now they're like $35. I don't think it's worth that. It's pretty good. It has issues. One of the cool things about it is you can build earlies. You can build E1s and E3s and stuff out of it. The one that I'm building is an E3, I believe. Or is it an E1? Maybe it is an E1. No, it's an E1. And which is why you've got all these these openings here, so that you can change the leading edge fairing between the cannon and the machine gun. And I don't know, did the E1 only have the cowl-mounted machine guns? I don't know. Avenger, probably an E1. Yeah, it's an E1. So did the E1 only have cowl machine guns and no wing guns? And then the E3 had the cowl or the wing machine guns, and then the E4 had the wing cannon? Is that the way it works? ABC. No. It looks like too many pieces of paper. Stay like this, will you? E1. Okay. And this is an E3. So this had the cannons. I don't know, my 109 books are in storage. All of my reference materials are in the garage in boxes. They've been there for 6 years. Almost 7 years now. And I really need to get some shelves built in here so I can get my books. I need my books. And everybody's like, oh, you should just get those all digitized. No, I don't want to get them digitized. I like books. I like to hold them in my hands and flip the pages. I think all I had was 7.62. Yeah, I think that's right. I think I had the 2 in the cowl and 1 in each wing. And then when they went to the E3, they went to the 20 millimeter in the wing. I think. Okay. So, where am I here? I got that done, that done, that done. I didn't mark this one off like I did the other ones. That's all in. I didn't mark this off as I went along. Well, that's all obviously done because it's inside. I didn't do that, but I need to do this one. That's all done except for that. That's obviously done. That's done. That's done. He's gonna make me look it up. I was laughing. You sent me that link to that P47 thing. I'll post that on the ShutterAce page because that was really funny. So Jeff sent me a link that some other friend of his sent him, and he said that this other friend, he was like, oh, he found a home movie of you when you were a kid, and it's this old wartime P47 training film thing, but it's from the perspective of this kid. And he's like, oh, don't you people know anything about the P47? And he starts going off, and he's got all this stuff in his useless information in his head like some of us do. Like what's the 3-second weight of fire of 650 caliber machine guns? I don't actually know right now off the top of my head, but a few years ago I could have probably told you that. Why do I know these things? Because you're a geek, Jim. Because you're a geek. Okay. Oh, that's one thing. The exhaust stacks on this thing are horrible. They're really bad. So I need... What can I start doing here? These gates are just giant. But the nice thing about these Airfix kits is they had all this extra stuff. All kinds of stuff here. So there, I need those. I'm just going to cut these out here. And I need this. What is 32? Oh. Okay. All right, yeah. So let's work with these right now. Sorry, 792s. E3 had the more, yeah. So the E1 did not have the center cannon, huh? The center line cannon. Although it had the open tip spinner. Yeah, there's 3 different spinners here. One of them is definitely more. There's 2 with, closed ends, and one's more pointed than the other. What is with all this stuff? Can't you guys just make an airplane? We're here to pimp the auto. Man, now I want to watch those commercials. Those are so funny. V-Dob is in the house. Okay, so Night Fighter build. What am I going to do? Okay, so I have lots of choices. I have just going from the monogram barn, I have the DL335, which I think would be awesome. And I have the P61 with some aftermarket for it. And I have, what do I have? I have the Tamiya Bowfighter. I have, let's see. The AMT P70. That it? That might be all that I have. I think that's all that I have. So I think I'm going to start with the 335. And if that goes pretty quick, which I expect it to, then maybe I'll dig out the P61. But that is going to be a job. If you've ever built a monogram P61 kit, you know that it's not the simplest thing. But it is pretty cool when it's done. Okay. Well. That it? That looks pretty good. Except for that right there. So yeah, so I think I'm going to start with the DL335. And then we'll go from there. I got like this front edge is not straight. Would not be able to finish it in 2 months. Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's a tough kit. I built one, I think early high school, and I just remember it was tough. There was a lot of it's got a lot of parts. There's a lot to it. Okay. Yeah, fits okay. Could be better, could be worse. It'll polish out. It'll be fine. It's a little proud, but it'll be fine. Yeah, I think trying to remember, the diorama sheets. I think the first one that I ever saw was the B17 sheet, but then I saw the P61 sheet, and I remember the him using the screen as a substitute for the runway material or the hard pad material or whatever in the sand or the coral. I just remember wow, it's genius. And wow, this bottom piece didn't go on straight at all. How did I miss that? See if I can remelt it here. I must have been half asleep when I put that on. Jeff, you should go to the Chino Air Show, man. One of these days when I get back out there, I want to go. It's funny. Growing up there, living in, I think I was 22 when I left California. And living there my whole life and never went to Chino until I came back for a visit. With my wife. Were we married then? We might have been. Maybe we weren't married yet. I don't know. Excuse me. Allergy season. But yeah, I need to. Yeah, I definitely want to go one of these years. They had a really great warbird show in Arizona, and it was in Goodyear. And Goodyear was where they were. It was like an MD-11 depot, like the KC-10s, MD-11s. I don't know whether they were converting MD-11s into KC-10s or what. I don't remember, but I just remember they had a bunch of MD-11s there and or DC-10s or whatever you want to call them, and but they would have this warbird show, and it was so great. And then they'd have like the Golden State Fly-In or something down in like Chandler or whatever, and all these guys would show up with these classics from like the 30s, like these Beach 18s and these Wacos and PT19s and Lockheed Vegas and Mulligans, and all these old classics, Cessna 180s, and it was really awesome. Blue Angels are going to be out here at Grand Junction this year, but I don't know if I'm going to pay $30 a head to get in. Then they have in Montrose, they have every year they have a Tribute to Aviation in Montrose, and it's just it's all stacked display, but it's pretty cool, It's always fun, and it's free. That one's free. You read about the flying? Yeah, I did. That NM9. I saw that thing. That sucks that it crashed. But I remember looking at the thing in the museum there and going, wow, I wouldn't fly that. That's funky. I'm not going up in that thing. Wow, there's some crazy sink marks on the bottom of this wing. And there's some right there. This is not going to be a perfect build. It's going to be good enough. If there's one thing that I have learned is if I'm ever going to finish anything, I just have to settle for good enough. Because if I don't settle for good enough, I'll never finish anything. Which reminds me, Mr. Stefan, I have to commend you on your ability to make some pretty damn decent models out of those old monogram kits, man. Those 109s and that 262 looks good. And I remember building one of those many, many moons ago, and I remember there being some somewhat significant fit issues, unless my memory deceives me. And that thing looks great. It really does. I don't know, maybe I'm kind of a jerk, but every time I look at something that I know is a monogram build, the first thing I do is I start looking for the seams and stuff, the mating surfaces and stuff, and seeing how well those got handled. And I think you do a good job. You do a good job. And you're pumping those things out. So, what one thing I will say about this kit, the cockpit in this thing is pretty nice. If the rest of it was as nice as the cockpit, it would really be something. And not that it's horrible, but Tamiya white putty. Really, that's your secret? Calgon take me away. Your secret's not Mr. Clean or scrubbing bubbles or anything like that. Dang, this thing is actually... I'm looking at this thinking about it. I was like, this thing is not that far from... I could finish this fairly quickly if I wanted to. I mean, not that I don't want to, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm contemplating swapping out my air compressor for a CO2 bottle. Just for the sake of space. I mean, if I'm going to continue to use the compressor, I'm just going to leave it in the old shop. I think. Because I just don't really have any place to put it out here. It'd take up too much room. I'm going to have to invest in putty. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, it's okay. The other interesting thing about this is you probably have noticed all of the control surfaces are separate, and I mean all of them. Which I find somewhat unique, or not unique, but I think it's actually a good thing. I would not mind all of my aircraft kits coming with separate control surfaces. I would not mind that one bit. Wow, there's a barbecue potato chip in the box. Ugh. Who knows? Don't know. Don't want to know. Okay. Slat. Horizontal stab. Horizontal elevator. So these are the parts for the wheels up landing gear. I was originally going to do this as a crashed, as an aircraft that went down in the Tunisian desert. But I've since, the British Crusader driving by, and I was going to put a skeletonized pilot in it, but I'm not going to do that. But I could do a belly landed Condor Legion one, huh? I don't know. Back to my 124 scale P40. So I don't know if you guys heard when that whole Airfix thing, Airfix's next 24 scale kit is a Hellcat F6F. And I have to admit, my only thought is, what? Not that the Hellcat's not a great subject, but really, if you're going to tool something in 124 scale, and the field is so small out there, is the Hellcat really the best choice? Who runs this marketing department anyway? My dad had that compressor shut hit away and plumbed. Replaced it to move the area, had quick disconnects on each wall. Yeah, that's the way we have it. That's the way we have it at work. I've got a 60-gallon high CFM compressor in my garage, which is detached. And I actually thought about that at one point, was running that into the house with the PVC and but honestly, I went to Harbor Freight and I had a coupon and I got the 2-horse 8-gallon it's not oilless. You have to put oil in it, and that's fine. That doesn't bother me. And actually, I prefer that. I had some oiled compressors over the years, and I'm not convinced that they're worth having. But yeah, a Wildcat would have been cool. I agree. A Wildcat would have been cool. But yeah, these, and people give Harbor Freight stuff a hard time, but an oilless compressor, yeah, I would not go there. But the should I do it wheels up? I don't have a pilot. I sent my pilot to Brett. Now I got it stuck in there. Come on. So, whoa, run away. I don't know. Hey, you two can. See you later. Have a good evening. What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't know. Should I do this wheels up? Or not? What should I do, comrade? I thought about doing a model of your Mustang, Jeff. I was gonna build a Mustang and then just take some of the ashes out of the barbecue and sprinkle over top of it. And put it on a container ship being ferried to San Francisco. I was telling somebody about that the other day. We were talking about stupid stuff, and I was like, "Oh, you want to hear something crazy?" And I started telling the story of your it was a Mustang and Volkswagen, right? And that you told them you didn't want him and that they've shipped him anyway, and then they called you and wanted you to come get him. And you were like, no. Classic. Absolutely classic. That's so funny. Only our legendary government ship a piece of scrap metal a quarter of the way around the world for no reason. I gotta look and see if there's any news on that F-35 that went down in Japan. I'm sure. Well, then it's not like they're going to tell us anything, but Be interesting to know. That was the Mustang. By the time I got here, it was too damaged to ship to me. Wow. Yeah, but you told him to leave it, right? That you didn't even want it because it was buried, or I thought that's what you told me at one time. That you told him just to leave it there because it was going to be trashed. Now look at how pathetic this propeller is. I would guarantee you the monogram propeller is better than this. There's like almost no definition on the hub. There we go. All right. Sure cleans up easy though, this soft plastic. That's it, done. No, I wanted it, but they said it was destroyed. Yeah, that's right. They said it was junk, and then they shipped it all the way to Frisco, and then, or no, okay, yeah, they shipped it all the way to Frisco, and then determined that it was destroyed. We could have done that, you know, before we put it on the ship. Wow. Oh, amazing. There's some pretty good bombs and stuff in here. These drop tanks and stuff. Maybe I'll ship you these extra parts. This drop tank's really nice. These racks, these belly racks are really nice. Here's a tropical filter. That's not that great. Let's see. All right. What do you think? Wheels up or wheels down? I don't have a pilot. $68. $69. $70 and $71. Not sure how do you want to display it. Well, you know, you actually can display it. At least there is a category at the national convention playing on a stick or something, where you can have it on a stick without a pilot, with the wheels up and stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of just building it because I had it started and I just figured it was something that I could finish fairly easily. Okay, so this one goes over here. No, this one goes here. So this is this side. Alright, I gotta figure out which internals go to which one. Okay. So this is this one and this is this one. Right? Right. 69 and 71 and 68 and 70. So these two go here and these two go here. Okay. All right. Okay, so I have a question, Jeff. So we used to go out there, all the way out there to whatever the heck that road was, and take Acacia all the way out and make the right. And then you'd go out there to it'd turn into dirt. What the heck was that called out there? I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about? Way out there east of town. Sometimes everybody show up out there for drag races. I can't even remember what the name of the road was now. California Avenue, was that the one that if you went south it turned into dirt and was... And it would, I think it went like all the way out to Sage or something, didn't it? I think it was Fairview. Yeah, I think it was Fairview. I think Fairview's right. This is pretty funky the way this is. I have no idea why they did this way. They got the two pieces actually are slotted together into this H, but then there's... Oh wow, I almost put that in the water. So yeah, they've got these two pieces so that you can put them together like this. But if you do that, then they're not far enough apart that you can get them over the things in there. Weird. Anyway. There really ain't much left here. I just got to clean all these things up. See, this is the part that sucks. Is there are ejection pin marks all over these, and these are one-piece surfaces. But there's okay. This one's going to be hidden, but there's two ejection pin marks on that flap. I don't see any there. Nothing there. Yeah, but if these kits were cheap enough, this would not be a bad kit to just harvest the control surfaces from for other builds. Fairview turned into Batista Canyon. That's right. That's the place. So what's out there now? Houses? Because there didn't used to be anything out there. Nothing. And I mean nothing. Ooh. It's the same? Really? Wow. Nothing. There's nothing out there. Okay. I remember one night we were all out there and we had a little fire going and orange groves in the canyon that goes up to Anza. Yeah. We had a little fire going out there and a ranger showed up and he was just basically like, okay, guys, make sure you put it out when you leave. We were like, okay. Nowadays it'd have been like, up against the car, freeze, don't move. Struts aren't bad. Maybe I'll do a gear down. The exhaust is horrible. Okay, so they didn't have. Okay, were you with us when we dumped the paint from the college out there? I don't think so. That doesn't ring a bell at all. What, from like Auto Shop or something? Yeah, no, I didn't take any of those classes. Oh, so the armor plate's optional. But not, oh no. No, it's just an optional canopy depending on which one you want. So then this just goes. like this. Huh. Interesting. And then I need, what spinner do I need? I need I'm going to guess they did not use, the E1 was not set up to carry any of the under fuselage stores. 26B. Okay. I think I'm losing it. There's that, there's that. $78. Okay, these are done. These are cleaned up if I'm going to use them. That's junk. These are not cleaned up. Cut that off anyway. What am I looking at? So they want you to trap the prop between the fuselage, you know, like in the old days, which always led to a loose prop. So what I decided to do was not do that, and then I'll just glue the prop on when the time comes. I'm not. It's okay. It doesn't have to move. I don't care if it doesn't move. Okay. So what, did they tell you to get rid of the paint? So that's what you guys did? And I still, you know, I can't believe we got that night we were hiding in the bushes. I can't believe we got away with that. My God, dude, I was laying in those bushes and that cop's flashlight went right across my feet. And he just kept on walking. I still remember that, just like it freaking happened last night. Yeah, because we were up there and there somebody was like, cop, and I'm like, it's not a cop, it's a ranchero. That's not a cop, that's a ranchero. And 40 years later, 30 years later, or whatever, I still haven't lived it down. Oh. This prop is horrible. That area up there is all houses now. Oh, I'm sure. Probably big dollar houses too. I kind of feel sorry for my kids, man. You know, they never get to do anything like that. I mean, I'm glad on the one hand that I'm a parent because I'm the parent and I don't want to have to think about that stuff. But in all honesty, we weren't stupid. We were pretty safe. Even though we did some stupid stuff, we were pretty safe about it. As I recall, maybe we weren't. Maybe I recall totally wrong. You mean you're glad that you don't have to bail your kids out? Right, you know, back in our day, what was it? We were out, I remember we were out one time. Remember when we grabbed all those freaking flashy lights off the barricade things? The warning light things? And we had them like all in the back of Vince's truck or something. And then we didn't know what to do with them, so we buried them all. And then the cop showed up and made us pour out all our beer. But he didn't, you know, they didn't see the flashing light things because we had buried them in the dirt. But they were right there. Oh, what the hell is wrong with us? Freaking funny, man. You can't tell your kids this stuff. Because they might try it. No. Well, yeah. My kids would be like, Dad. That's alright. They think I'm crazy anyway. That was California. Was that? So that was out west, right? Yeah, I kind of remember. I remember that was out west. Because I remember I had stopped and got the MGD. Was that the night my hood flew up? I don't remember. That sucked. I remember we went to stop there at this 7-Eleven there on the west side to buy beer. Underage, of course. And I remember walking in, and I was driving, but I remember walking in and I was so, well, I don't know if I was driving, but we had my square back, I think. And I don't remember who was in it with me, but I walked in, grabbed like a 12-pack of MGD, and there was a bunch of people at the register, and I just walked out and got in the car and drove off. And whoever was with me, I don't remember, looked at me and was like, "Did you pay for that?" And I'm like, "Yeah," or something, you know, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happened, but the bottom line is I just walked out the door with it and never paid for it. But I didn't do it intentionally. I just was, I think I was so focused on how I was gonna play it at the register that I didn't. I just walked out the door with it and didn't even realize it. And nobody came after me or nothing. I didn't run out the door. I just walked out, got in the car. Jason Blankner was there with the cops that night as an explorer. Oh. Yeah, I wonder whatever happened to that dude. Yeah. Yeah, they only knew, huh? That's kind of ironic. He's in AZ, alive. Really? Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of people that went from California to AZ. I was one of them. I just did it a lot earlier than most other people. I think I moved, let's see, I moved to Arizona in 91. 91? I think it was 91. Labor Day of 91. So I would have been what? Okay, this is math. This is hard. Hang on, let me think about this. 91, 7, 20, 25? Nah, I couldn't have been that old. I guess I could have been that old. '91 or '92. I came back in '91. It must have been '91 because I think I was already gone. I don't know. I don't know, man. That was a long time ago. I think it was '91. And then I moved to Colorado in '03. God, I've been here 16 years. It's hard to believe. I liked Arizona until it got freaking packed. When I first moved there, it was nice. And it wasn't freaking crazy hot either because there wasn't 7 million freaking people there. There was, when I moved to the Phoenix area, there was, oh, I was in Beaumont in 91. Oh, okay. Really? Oh, maybe it was 92 then. I know it was Labor Day weekend that I moved. This is weird, the way they got this thing set up. So they got this prop, right? And it's keyed to go into this back plate. And then you got the pin that comes through the back. It's set up like the old kits. We went to Boingo in October in 91. Wow, you got way better memory than I do. Boingo in October. Where at? Fullerton? Was that in Fullerton? I saw them in so many places. Oh no, October. That would have been the Halloween show at that place, whatever the hell it's called. I can't remember right now. Irvine Meadows, yeah. Yeah, this is really stupid the way this is set up. So this pin comes through, but it doesn't go all the way through the prop. Oh, probably because that's supposed to be open for the cannon barrel. But, so there's no way to make sure that the prop is aligned correctly with the back plate. So I guess I just do that. So yeah, it must have been 92 then. Okay, so 92 I would have been... Okay, I could do math. I know I'm 53, but I can do math still. I just can't do math and scrape seams at the same time. So it would have been... Is that right? Is that right? 92. Right? Alright, 66, 92, 6, 26. I was 26 when I left? Wow, I thought I was a lot younger than that. I was thinking I was like 22 when I left. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to put all this stuff over here. Put that over there. These are all the control surfaces. This is garbage. Garbage, garbage. Garbage. All right. I think that's it for this week's episode of Watch This Dork Build Models. Right? Or, hey, I can do better than that. Next week on, hey, I can do better than that. I think I'm going to leave all these parts and stuff out here. I think I'm going to work on this a little bit this week, figure out what I'm going to do. I'll probably put it up on its wheels. I'm going to do some research and see if they actually used any kind of underwing stuff on the E1s. I doubt it. But it would be interesting just to have something under here. And this thing's, I've talked about this before. It's okay. I think $20 is perfectly reasonable for this caliber of a kit. I think $30 is excessive. But that's me. You were 24 and 92. Yeah, I was 26. So this year I've been gone from California. E1B bomber, no drop tank. Really? So it's like the single bomb or the four bomb ejector rack? Like this guy or this guy? No, this is the drop tank. This is the single bomb. This is the 4 little ones. I mean, I think this thing's cool. The single, bummer. And it looks like there's 2 different size single bombs. Wow. Well, that might be kind of cool. You know, the interesting thing about this thing about the Spanish Civil War is, I mean, this, you know, in the 30s, in the early to mid 30s, I mean, or like, well, I guess late 30s. Anyway, drop tank didn't come until 87. Well, yeah, they didn't need it until they got to the desert. No, this was super advanced in the skies over Spain at the time. You know, at the time when the German Air Force was the most advanced Air Force in the world, probably. The most advanced Air Force that didn't actually exist. At least on paper. Anyway, I'm burning out. I'm going to take a nap right here. All right. Let's see. What are we going to do next week? I don't know. We'll find out. I may or may not be on next week. It depends on how Sunday goes. I don't know. I can't imagine us not getting back at a decent hour. Night Fighter. Oh yeah, we got to start on the Night Fighter stuff too. Yeah, I'm going to start with the DO-335, and then we'll go from there. And and I realize that the monogram. Well, I don't really know. The monogram version of the 335, doing the trainer version and doing the Night Fighter thing, I don't think is actually what the plan was. The real Night Fighter one had the kind of the little bubble canopy thing over the back. But I don't really know. I just learned the other day that there was a lot more 262s built than I ever thought there was. You know, there's like 250 262s that were built. And that was quite shocking to me personally, because I was like, wow, I didn't realize that. I thought, there's like one or two squadrons of them. I didn't realize there was that many. Which is puts a whole different light on it when you realize that, wow, they were really cranking these things out. Pretty cool. Anyway, all right, that's it. We may or may not see you next week. Either way, take care of the people you love, and we'll see you next time. Bye.